Kemudian langsung saja ke kesimpulannya. Because my summary is too many, and the time is just 4 minutes, maybe now I'm read my summarizing of my summary. Bumi Manusia takes place in 19 and 18 during the Dutch colonial period. A young man named Minke continued his education in elite school reserved for Europeans, Dutch and aristocrats. Minke is also not just an ordinary native youth. He is so capable and broad-minded with his ability to write. He managed to publish his opinion in newspaper. The opening of Minke's Minke's perspective has also changed his perspective towards Europeans, the Dutch. He no longer bothered them, but denounced all the oppression they had inflicted on his people. In Minke's journey, he also meets a beautiful girl of in the Dutch, this can name Annelies Mollema. Annelies lives with her mother, who is called Nyai Ontosoro. The result of his relationship with Annelies seemed happy for a moment, but caused various impact for Minke and Nyai Ontosoro. Not only got gossip and accusation of doing indecent things with Nyai. Minke also had to be forced to accept Annelies' departure, all because the Dutch law, which was not in favor of the natives. Minke tried hard to restore the right they should have, including detaining Annelies' forced departure due to Dutch law. No, Miss.
Oke. Siapa tadi teh?
Revaldi, Miss.
Oh ya, Revaldi. Ya.
Yeah.
Revaldi, I do like this book also because it shows in the cinema.
Yeah.
And the actor is my favorite. Siapa coba?
Iqbal, Miss.
Ya.
Tapi kalau di filmnya itu kurang menggambarkan seperti yang di bukunya sih, Miss.
Oh ya, saya belum baca bukunya nih. Ya, boleh. Oke, thank you Revaldi. Jadi di bukunya lebih sedih
gitu, Miss, gitu. Ya.
You know what? I cry. Saya nangis ya itu di sepanjang filmnya.
Yes, Miss.
Baru lo saya
Soalnya
nangis.
si Annelies-nya dipisahkan oleh
Iya banget.
Ibunya sama anaknya itu, Miss. Sama
itu
si
saya baru banget nangis di bioskop dan saya jaim gitu ngeliat teman-teman saya kok pada nangis juga. Yaudah saya juga ikutan nangis.
Yes,
keren filmnya. Oke, thank you so much Revaldi. Next, siapa yang bisa kamu pilih Revaldi?
Maybe Santa, Miss.
Siapa?
Santa, Angela.
Santa, hi Santa. Are you there, Santa?
Yes, Miss.
Hi Santa, how are you, Santa?
I'm fine, Miss. How about you?
I'm doing well. So Santa, are you ready?
Yes, Miss.
Kim Ji Young? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, ada filmnya juga ya ini ya?
Ada, Miss, tapi belum nonton. Baru baca.
Oke, boleh.
Okay, first the identity of book. The title of this book is Kim Ji Young, born in 1982 by Cho Nam-jo. And this book was published in 2019 in South Korea. This book is a novel from South Korea that is discussed around the world, which take the issues of patriarchy. Next ke story-nya. The story is about a girl. Her name is Kim Ji Young. She was born into a family that wanted a son. And after that, her younger brother was born. From childhood, Kim Ji Young and her sister, Kim Eun Young, were treated differently from their brother. He always get privilege, but Kim Ji-young and her sister must study and help their mother. There is also a story from Kim Ji-young. One day, she was stalked by a male friend from her course. She asked her friend for help, but her friend thought that Kim Ji-young liked the boy, but the fact she didn't like him. When her father picked her up, her father met and told her to wear more appropriate clothes. And then after getting older, when Kim Ji-young looking for a job, she is diligent and persistent, but she was never sponsored for promotion. And this is happened because of gender and the fact in South Korea, women have a lower job opportunities than men. And people assume that the woman will leave her job when she gets married and takes care of the children. But in my opinion, it is their right to continue working and take care of their children with a baby sister or decide to take care of their own children at home. And the point is that women also have the same rights with men. And I choose this book because it discusses women and gender equality issues. I recommended this book because the issues are still happen until now. And I think this issue is important to discuss to open people's eyes about gender equality. And that's all from my book summary, Miss.
Okay. Thank you. Santa, thank you Santa. Next Santa, siapa yang mau?
Yang belum siapa lagi ya, Miss?
Banyak sih lumayan. Aprilian.
Kautsar udah belum, Miss?
Belum? Kausar, are you ready? Okay, Kausar, can you give me 5 minutes? I really want to go to the something to do to the toilet dulu bentar ya. 5 menit ya. Kausar, I'm back. Can we start it now? Okay, the screen is yours, Kausar. Hmm. Hmm. Kelihatan tuanya ya. Oke. Ya. Tidak tahu. Tidak tahu. Revenge. Salah satu yang Jadi recommended nggak buat nih teman-temannya ini? Baku formal. Ya, tulis. Oke. Ya mungkin kalau diperbaharui ada ya itu dulu, you know what? Indonesia ini kan sampai ada sinetronnya ya, si apa, si Siti Nurbaya itu sampai ada sinetronnya kan ya, waktu zaman dulu, zaman saya kan ya. Itu si penghayatannya, si aktornya, Samsul Bahri, si Siti Nurbaya, sampai si Datuk Maringgi itu sangat-sangat legend banget. Datuk Maringgi saking dibencinya karena perannya dia menyebalkan di situ ya, namanya diperankan oleh Him Dasik kalau nggak salah ya, si Him Dasik sudah meninggal. Itu memang sudah tua. Sampai dia dia apa namanya, saking menghayatinya, saking Indonesia terbuai oleh perannya si Datuk Maringgi ini, ketika Him Dasyik jalan itu sampai dilemparin, sampai diludahin. Jadi saking melegendanya si sinetron ini dulu. Ya, oke, memang keren sih. Kalau dulu sih pasti ini kan bahasa Melayu sebenarnya dia bukunya tuh. Jadi memang agak pusing ya kalau bacanya. Mungkin kalau orang Sumatera itu pasti terbiasa dengan baca itu. Kalau Kautsar orang mau Kautsar? Kautsar orang mana? Maksudnya di Jawa kan? Kan kalau 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 ada yang orang Sumatera nggak? Kalau orang Sumatera begitu memang bahasanya. Gitu. Oke, thank you ya, Kotsar ya. Semoga literasi ini buku legend loh. Jadi memang harus dibudayakan ya. Thank you so much, Kotsar. Next siapa? Pilih siapa, Kotsar? Okay, Halida, please. The screen is yours.
Okay, Miss. So, I want to tell my summary. The title is Kau, Aku, dan Sepucuk Angpau Merah, and the author by Terelie, the publisher by Gramedia Pustaka Utama. The number of pages is 512 pages. Oke, langsung the story. Ke bawah aja, Mam. Iya, ke bawah lagi. Ah ya, makasih. Enggak. Okay. So the story is about Borno, speed driver who was interested with the girl but didn't brave to say anything to her until Borno found out the girl. The name was May. Day after day, month after month, he got to know the girl, but the girl had gone to Surabaya a few times where she studied, then returned to Pontianak, and that's how it was. Their story is complicated until finally May didn't want to see Borno anymore. Borno was so empty without May after a year since May decided to return to Surabaya. But before that, an auntie who took care of May's house in Pontianak told Borno that May had been bedridden for 3 months in Surabaya. And auntie asked about the red envelope that May accidentally dropped in Speed the first time they met. So this is what the letter says. That May has been paying attention to Borno for a long time and always want to ride his speed. The reason why May decided to look for Borno was that it, that it was her mother, who was a doctor, who cut open his father's chest to give his heart to someone else. May's mother wanted an achievement if she had successfully performed the operation. However, seeing little Borno who kept crying and being hugged by his mother, the doctor couldn't bear it and felt guilty. So she fell into a deep depression and finally died. So May repeatedly apologized in the letter. After reading the letter, Borno immediately flew to Surabaya and met May, who was lying weak. And finally, Borno said that he would always love May, and May is happy. Okay, so the reason why that I choose this book because it's very easy to read and which is about the romance of Bruno and May, and I'm a fan of Terelie, and that's why I read this book. And many tips can be taken from this book, especially through the presence of the figure of Fatua, whose advice is always right. Lots of advice about love and life. And I think the book is recommended to all my friends if they like a romance story. And this book is suitable for someone who falling in love, and there are many lessons to be learned about the love and romance, how to express love, how to cook the hurt we love, how to prepare to wait love until the end of life. What if we have to move on from love?
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Halida.
Okay, Miss.
Okay. Thank you so much. Next, Halida, would you please to choose one of your friends?
Siapa ya?
Banyak.
Taufik, Miss.
Taufik. Hi, Taufik. Are you there?
Hello, Miss.
Hi, Taufik. How are you, Taufik?
I'm fine, Miss.
Okay. Oh, magical apa? Magical
Magical
leadership.
leadership.
Oke. Ini kayak siapa nih? Kayak Deddy Kobuzier atau siapa? Magic soalnya nih. Oke.
Yes.
Boleh. The screen is yours.
So yeah, for this summary book, I choose book called Magical Leadership by Tom Morris. This book published uh, by Nuansa Bandung at 2010. So, because this book is not a storybook, not many things that I can tell to you all. So uh, Imam, can you scroll down? Yeah, this book is about leadership, but the interesting things about this book is the author is use popular story called Harry Potter as a reference. So the way Harry Potter talk, the way Harry Potter react to problem is be a reference of this book. So yeah, this book have 6 chapter. In chapter 1, the author make the readers think what will be happen if the headmaster of Hogwarts, the Albus Dumbledore, be a CEO of modern industry. The author also use a famous philosopher Aristoteles as a reference. And then the second chapter is Harry Potter the Brave. The reason why author uh, use title this chapter title Harry Potter the Brave because brave is one of the qualities that a leader must possess. And as we all know, Hogwarts when Harry study in Hogwarts, they a lot of fear came to Harry Potter. Their Harry Potter always fear dihantui oleh Voldemort dan teman-teman lainnya. The third chapter is with ethics, and fourth chapter truth and lies at Hogwarts. And I think there is I can tell you about this book.
Okay. Finish?
Finish miss because
Okay. What?
yeah,
Why?
it's about leadership.
Because okay. Do you recommend it?
Uh, in our situation, I recommend it is because we have to menghadapi himpunan dan BM dan organisasi-organisasi lainnya gitu, Miss.
Stres itu ya.
Ya.
Jadi situasinya bisa didapat dari buku-buku ini ya. Oke, thank you Taufik. Boleh juga tuh yang buat itu ya, yang buat anak-anak himpunan, anak-anak organisasi ya.
Ya, bisa, Miss.
Thank you Taufik. Next Taufik, boleh pilih siapa? Kita masih ada waktu sampai jam 5 ya, 16.50 sih actually. Kita habisin ya kalau bisa insya Allah mudah-mudahan habis semua ya. Okay, please.
Yang belum siapa ya, Miss?
Banyak. Siti Nurhaliza, Sina, Cynthia, Tadianti, Netanya, Najwa, Ilyas, Hasna, Eliza, Dewi, Besti, sama
Besti.
Aprilia.
Besti.
Siapa? Besti. Oke, Besti.
Ya, sebentar. Okay. So the book that I have summarized is 0 to 1. This book is really inspired me as a person who is really interested in startup. Okay, so the author of this book is Peter Thiel, is an entrepreneur, investor, and billionaire. And Peter Thiel gave a series of lectures about entrepreneurship. And because of the students love his lectures so much, so that he decided to turn the lectures into this book. Boleh, Mam? Scroll lagi. Okay. So after read this book, I had three main lessons Till gives in this book. And the first one is monopolies are actually good for innovation. However, a monopoly isn't always a bad thing. While Google's monopoly isn't great for competitors, it is great for the general public who use Google along with the company itself. In fact, being a monopoly on a market is a really great way to solidify future growth. So if you have a market share where we can set the standard for the pricing along with the greater buying power, this is why the existence of monopolies drive forward innovation. The second one is your product or service will never sell itself. So, in order to get your product out to a wide audience, you need to create the marketing and sales strategies that will get your product in the right hands. So, however, there's no such a things as like a perfect product, and no matter how good your product or service is, without customers, you are wasting time. So, start on focusing on sales. And the last one is building a successful and profitable company is achieved slowly. So the point is you can be the best at everything initially. However, you can be the best at your thing. Then find your selected niche target market and set out to be the monopoly in that target market. So from there, look to keep growing and monopolizing other markets. Because I really interested in with startup, so from my perspective, this book is perfect for anybody in the early stages of their business. It doesn't have to be a big startup. Even smaller side hustles can learn something from the mindset of dominating a small market. So I think after I read this book, I know that everyone has the same opportunity to be successful in starting their own startup. Okay, I think so. That's all. That's all for my summary book, Miss.
Okay. Thank you, Bestie. Very nice of your presentation, Bestie. Next,
Thank you,
Bestie.
Miss.
Boleh pilih siapa?
Yang belum ada siapa aja?
Siapa aja? Ada yang volunteer mau mengajukan? Cowok, cowok, udah semua belum?
Boleh saya, Miss?
Siapa?
Saya aja, Miss.
Boleh? Siapa itu?
Ilyas.
Oke, lihat, silakan.
Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Today I want to presentation about my book that I have read. It is The Da Vinci Code. The author Dan Brown, publisher Doubleday, and publication year 2003. Number of page 631. Boleh Mam tolong dibawain. Okay. The Da Vinci Code is a mystery detective novel by Dan Brown. The novel follows symbologist Robert Langdon and cryptologist Sophie Neveu after a murder at the Louvre Museum in Paris, when they become embroiled in a battle between the Theory of Zion and Opus Dei over the possibility as to whether Jesus Christ married Mary Magdalene. The title of this novel, among other things, refers to the finding of the first victim of a murder at the Louvre Museum with condition at position such as the Vitruvian Man, Leonardo da Vinci's famous drawing, as well as a hidden discovery beside him and a pentagram drawn in his own blood. Miss,
Ya.
can I presentation berdasarkan apa yang saya
Ya, ya,
rangkum
ya.
lagi, Miss. Kalau
Ya gitu
misalkan di
aja,
sini
jangan
terlalu
baca.
panjang.
Oh, betul, emang kayak gitu kan saya bilang gitu. Jadi
Oke, oke.
presentasinya kamu jangan baca, yuk.
Oke, thank you, Miss.
Yes.
Okay, next. This novel explores an alternative religious history with the central plot point being that the French kings of the Merovingian dynasty belong to the lineage of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, whose ideas derive from Clive Prince, the Templar Revelation, and the books by Margaret Starbreed. The novel also makes reference to the Holy Blood and the Holy Grail, although Dan Brown stated that the book was not used as research material. And the Da Vinci Code sparked popular interest in speculation regarding the legend of the Holy Grail and Mary Magdalene's role in Christian history. However, the novel has been widely criticized by many Christian denominations as an attack on the Roman Catholic Church and has consistently been criticized for various scientific and historical Despite this, the novel became one of the best-selling books in the world with sales of 20 million copies in 2009 and was translated into 44 languages. The novel combines detective, thriller, and corruption fiction genres, and is Dan Brown's second novel to feature the character of Robert Langdon, the first being Angel and Demons. In November 20, 2004, Random House published a pictorial special edition with 160 illustrations. In 2006, an in-film adaptation was released by Sony's Columbia Pictures. Okay, maybe it enough for me, Miss.
Okay, that's good. So, do you recommend this book?
I recommended to the people that love
Thriller,
apa ya,
thriller or
puzzle, puzzle. Itu
mystery?
kayak misteri dan teka-teki gitu. Cuman ini tuh
Oke.
ada kontroversi juga. Gitu.
Iya sih sebenarnya. Tapi itu tuh harus bacanya harus konsentrasi ya, karena
Betul.
semua buku dari siapa pengarangnya tuh?
Dan Brown.
Dan Bro itu saya lama banget bacanya.
memang harus konsentrasi banget sih.
Iya, jadi saya tuh sampai jedanya tuh ada yang sebulan 2 bulan, jeda dulu, terus baru lanjutin lagi baca gitu. Memang sulit untuk dilanjutin ini Maya. Oke, thank you so much Ilyas. Boleh pilih yang lain? Najwa.
Oke, yes, Najwa aja, Miss.
Siapa? Najwa.
Ya.
Boleh Najwa, are you there?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, Najwa, the screen is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now I will presentation about my summarizing book. I have read the novel that the title is Mary Ann by Saraswati. Boleh langsung ke bawah aja, Mam. Ke summarize-nya aja langsung. Nah, udah. So Marianne's book contains 22 chapters divided into chapters Saini, Brata, Risa, Anton van Zeeburg, and Marianne van Zeeburg. This book by Risa doesn't look like a horror genre book in general. The book cover is creative and purplish with a picture of a little girl wearing a pink dress and shorts with Dutch blonde hair, and there is no mystical element in this book. So that's the reasons why the novel doesn't look like a horror genre book. And the reason why I chose this novel because
The language style of the book is good and easy to understand by the general public, and this book doesn't have a bad impact to scare the public, but adds to the history of the colonial period. The packaging of this sleek story has brought us back to the colonial era, and we can give an opinion on how to live in the colonial era. In Marianne's book, the author writes a story based on the closest character who involved in her life with a third-person limited point of view. The third-person point of view is brought by the author by writing a story according to events told by people related to the discourse to the writer who experienced post-colonial events. There are three characters who tells a story, namely Saini as Anne's caregiver, Brata as the driver for the Van Zeeburg family, and Anton Van Zeeburg as Anne's father. These three figures are no longer alive. So Saini's point of view tells that Anne is a healthy little girl who rarely smiles. However, in contrast to Bertha, as Chinese father lives in the Fanziru family as well as a driver and trusted person. He thinks that the Anne is sweet little girl who looks like her father. Anne's father view that his sweet little girl was angry and arrogant due to her being too cold and angry with Anne and the lack of a mother's love. Mary Ann tells the life story of a little girl of Dutch descent during her life called her Anne. She is a beautiful Dutch blonde girl who lives in the Dutch East Indies with her father Anton van Zeeburg during the colonial period. Mary Ann lives without the love of a mother. She was raised by her father, Brata and Saini, and grows up and has an attitude like her father is quiet, angry, stubborn, but have a very big affectionate side. Because of this, Marianne became a close person. Whenever Marianne talked about her mother, the name is Margot, her father always got angry and shouted at her, until Marianne was angry with her own father, but had to be betrayed. Their life goes on like usual family. One time when Marianne was in school, her teacher was talking about her mother. That's when Marianne threw a tantrum and slammed her chair. She also showed to the house and slammed the door very hard. She immediately complained to her father to go to the Netherlands to meet Margot, who was known other than her mother. Uh, on the other hand, Anton van Zeeburg is actually Marianne's father, worried about Marianne's condition and sad because of his past with Margot. Actually, Marianne doesn't know her biological child. It's just that she's worried and upset about Margot's treatment of her. When Anton was still in the Netherlands as a military officer and Margot became a nurse, they fell in love with salah kita Miss, maaf Miss. Salah baca. Ini aja langsung how can they die when there were many rumor that the Nippon Japanese soldiers would come to the Dutch East Indies. Anton was persuaded by his friends to immediately return to the Netherlands, but Anton did not see it until when there was a report that Nippon had entered the area when Anton and Marianne lived. Anton and Marianne took their belonging in a car driven by Brata. Nippon soldier blocked the journey when they heard gunshots and hit Brata's head. Brata died. However, the car was still going fast and suddenly they were flying, even though they fell from the raven. Is Marianne and Anton died in that car. That's enough from me, Miss.
Okay. Thank you so much, Najwa. That's very good explanation. Mana Najwa ya? Okay, good. Sebentar ya. Satu lagi bisa ya. Fauzan, ada?
Yes, Miss, I'm here.
Fauzan, how are you? How's business, Fauzan?
He is sleeping now.
My cat is also sleeping with me now.
Yes,
Okay,
maybe because
Fauzan.
it's rain.
Yeah,
Okay.
the weather is very cold and the cat is always sleep when it's got a cold, right?
Yes.
Fauzan, sebuah
Okay.
seni untuk bersikap bodoh amat. Oke. Nyanyi nggak pakai nyanyi dulu dong, Fauzan?
Hah?
Nyanyi dulu
Nyanyi?
dong. Nyanyi. Bisa kan nyanyinya?
Nggak tahu nyanyiannya, Miss.
Ayo, masa nggak tahu? Fauzan mah.
Kakak aja baca doang.
Gue bodoh amat gitu. Tahu nggak?
Oh, yang itu. Tahu.
Okay, please, Fauzan, the screen is yours.
Okay, Miss. So for the summary book, I use the book which has title Sebuah Seni untuk Bersikap Bodoh Amat. This book is a translated version of the book which has original title The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F and written by Mark Manson. This book contains 9 chapters, with each chapter tell us about the different reason why not care about something is really important to us. Imam, can you scroll it down? Thank you. So I will tell about the first chapter with the title is Jangan Berusaha, or maybe Don't Try in English. So this chapter tell us about the Charles Bukowski story. So if you don't know, Charles Bukowski is a famous poet, and he's often mentioned in a motivational book like here. So basically, before become a famous poet, he is a bad person. He is an alcoholic and he likes to play with girls and he has many debts. But even so, like that, he has a hobby to write poetry, and sometimes a poetry is describe his life and his life and himself. And but because everyone thinks he is he is not a good person, his poetry is rejected by everyone. But even so, like that, Charles thinks that he writes for himself, not for other, right? So he doesn't care about it so much. So after that, he continue writes about he writes his poetry, and after the long time everyone start realize his poetry and like it so much and make him to become a famous poet. But after become a famous poet, he the Charles Bukowski is still a same person. He is an alcoholic and he likes to play with girls. But the difference is now he doesn't have many debts now. So from this story, Mark mentioned as author of this story is state that the key of a good life is not care about many things or even everything, but just care about simple things, that what is right, urgent, and important things. That because when we don't care about some things, we do it without feeling afraid, and we don't realize actually we do it well. And from this story too, Mark mentioned conclude that don't change yourself to become a winner, but make yourself to become winner. So I think that's all for the chapter one. So the reason why I choose this book because it really relates for me so much, and I hope I can apply it in to my life. And I recommend it so much because sometimes people think we don't care about something is a bad thing, but it actually is not, because sometimes we should do it for our goodness, and it's very suited for people like me who always overthinking about something. So it's really recommended for you guys. So I think that's all from me. Thank you for
Okay.
attention.
Oke, emang betul ya. Bodo amat is the way to defense for yourself when people bullying you, when people underestimate you, you can say gue bodo amat lah ya. Okay, guys, actually we have already berapa orang lagi ya? Tapi nggak apa deh, nanti aja setelah itu ya, biar kita lebih afdol. Jangan pakai video. Yang belumnya nggak apa-apa. Nanti kita akan lanjutkan beberapa lagi pas nanti masuk tanggal 9. Untuk sekarang, I really wish you to forgive myself, forgive my mistake, forgive my silliness, for apa ya? Saya minta maaf pokoknya dari hati yang paling dalam untuk semua kesalahan-kesalahan saya, mohon dimaafkan. Insya Allah kalian juga kita saling memaafkan ya. Mudah-mudahan Ramadannya berkah, Lebarannya juga kita kembali suci lagi. Amin. Mudah-mudahan ya. Ada lagi yang mau ditanyain untuk ini disampaikan?
I also forgive me, Miss.
Ya, of course. Pokoknya kita semua maaf-maafan ya. Mohon maaf lahir batin loh. Terus mudah-mudahan ya Lebaran nanti kita bisa lebih semangat, semuanya pada sehat-sehat. Actually kita bisa offline di kampus ya. Amin. Oke, thank you so much ya. Yuk untuk BAP boleh dibikin dulu fotonya, screenshot boleh dibantu ya Mam ya untuk screenshot foto-foto kita semua. Boleh cam on dulu semuanya yuk. Imam, are you there? Imam kemana ya? Ya Najwa sama-sama teman-teman juga ini kelas terakhir ya, makanya kalian sebelum pada mudik, hey. Maaf-maafan dulu, hey. Oke, Imam boleh tolong ya. Imam udah di rumah, Mam? Apa masih di kosan?
Masih di kosan, Miss.
Masih di kosan, belum
Besok.
balik?
Besok.
Oke, hati-hati semuanya ya. Yang mau mudik ya. Yuk semuanya.
Ada yang mau on cam lagi nggak?
Udah, nggak apa-apa lah, Mam. Imam mau ikut ke Cirebon ya. Nanti ke KUA-in mau di Cirebonnya, Alifah?
Buang aja, Mam.
Yuk.
Aku foto ya.
Parah jangan. Oke. Yuk.
1, 2, 3.
Oke, smile everyone.
1, 2, 3.
Senyum dong, kuliah terakhir, besok libur, yay! Thank you so much ya guys for your attention. I really love you. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih ya, Miss.
Selamat akhir bulan, Miss.
Ya, bye. Assalamualaikum.
Kalian curang.
Imam mau ikut Imam.
Tinggal di mana nih, Teh?
Ikut, Mam.
Mau ke rumah Anwar.
Aku ke rumah si Anwar aja. Tapi si Anurnya di Jogja, ih.